Hi, good morning. This is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden and Triadic Healing. Welcome and thank you so much for joining me. This is officially the first classroom to Triadic Healing and following through with everything. If you look at the website, there is a syllabus and it walks you through first an overview of all the parts of Triadic Healing. And then after that, there is a breakdown of each segment that we're going to go through. So this is after you do the onboarding and you get started. This is class 1. So welcome. Most of my research came from living with multiple personality disorder, dissociative identity disorder. Now, I will be the first to tell you that that terminology is also very inaccurate. Multiple personality is actually a multiple consciousness disorder. It is the consciousness that is split, not the multiples, not the alters, not the personalities. The reason why I say this is, first of all, because when I was inside my mind, I noticed that every personality was assigned its own consciousness, and that it was after the integration, the personalities are still individual but integrated under one conscious mind. So I can remember everything now. Once I became integrated, my memory came back. Once I became integrated, my identity progressively merged more and more so that I could be different alters, different multiples at the same time until finally they all became one. Now, one part of my alters is a BDSM mistress. She's very business. She's very sit down, chic New York, focused, get it done. She is the CEO of this whole shindig. And then I've got this really chill, relaxed hippie that can't be budged for anything. She's still in here. And then I've got my ballet dancer attending the theater, going to Lincoln Center and attending the opera, playing the piano and singing opera. She's still in here. And then I've got my party animal, Berrigan, who is still in here. When I talked to other people from all ranges of mental health, people who never experienced significant trauma, people who suffered significant trauma, all variation of levels, I noticed that there were some similarities and differences. The primary similarity I noticed was that everyone has alters. Everyone has multiple personalities. Every one of us. You mostly see these different personalities when you are hanging around your friends and you're at a party and you're chill at the barbecue. And then you go to the office and you're dressed in a suit and you're behaving yourself and you watch your swearing. Or you might go to a very particular kink event or play party event and a whole different you comes out. We talk all the time about wearing different hats for different occasions. In fact, there was a Bugs Bunny cartoon about this, where the truck was driving down the road and it took a sharp turn. All these hats came out and the hats trickled down onto Bugs and Elmer Fudd. And as the hats landed on Bugs and Elmer Fudd changed personalities to accommodate the hat they were wearing. That is multiple personalities. We all have multiple personalities. Absolutely. The difference between someone with dissociative identity disorder and somebody who does not have that condition is your personalities are not under one conscious mind, or they are. And that's the difference. So it's not that you have suddenly personalities bursting out that aren't you. That's not the case. What you have is multiple conscious minds being broken off into parts. The conscious mind is basically in charge of the identity, the defense system, and the memory. Those three things are included in this nice little package. So every personality has its own conscious mind, has its own defense system, the ability to communicate and articulate boundaries, and then it has its own memory bank. So if you are not broken off into multiple personalities so that it's just one conscious mind, it's one conscious mind, all of the personalities and the defense system and the one memory bank. And that's all together, the memory bank, the defense system, and all the different variation of personalities you have. When you experience trauma and you get to that point of significant dissociation where all those pieces start to break off, when you are severed, when the subconscious mind says it's not safe to have this particular personality style or personality trait. Think about personalities more as traits, personality traits. Then what happens is the subconscious mind will take the trait. In my case, it was vegetarianism and the hippie free love. Well, not the free love, just the vegetarian part. It took that trait and it took a little bit of the defense system and it put those two things together with its own memory bank because the three of them have to coexist. They cannot be separated. Those three things require each other, no exceptions. And then they got crammed into their own fourth level of the subconscious mind. And when the split happened a second time, same thing. It was that personality trait combined with this memory bank and these defense systems. And there you go. You've got that assigned over there. So as I switched out with each and every one of them, each one had their own memory bank, their own defense system, which varied for each alter, and each personality trait. Which is why people with multiple personality disorders can't remember what the other one is doing, is because they have separate memory banks. This is all done under that consciousness so that each consciousness is assigned a different segment. When you integrate, the consciousness comes back together as one. The memory bank comes together as one. The personality traits merge all back together, even though they're still separate. And the defense system is restored. Now you can communicate. Now you can set boundaries. So there is this concept that we have in our society that because I see the individual, because I see one person before me, we are one. There's only one part of all of us. And when you ask somebody, what is the subconscious mind? Most of the time they'll go, it's that thing in the back of your head that kind of tells you what's right and wrong. That's something we hear a lot. We hear from our beloved Disney, Pinocchio, the conscience is that still small voice in the back of your head that no one ever listens to. It is depicted as the good angel and the bad angel on your shoulder. There's a lot of different variations on what people think the subconscious mind is. Well, when I lived inside the subconscious mind for 32 years, I discovered that there were 6 parts to the subconscious mind and that there are 5 levels to the subconscious mind. And what I realized, this was amazing, was the alters felt different than the 6 working parts of the subconscious mind. For a while, I could not figure out what my identity was. I knew she was not an alter. She never left my actual mind. She never assumed a personality and came out. She was always there. She was very different, but she was there. Same thing with my fear system. Always there, never took it on a personality and came out, something different. There were a lot of little things like that. Imagination was another example. Imagination felt different than the other alters, completely different. It took me a long time, like this year, before I realized imagination was never an alter. Imagination is me. She is my core. So once I realized emotionally how each one of these were different, how each one of these were the same, I was able to figure out which parts were actually a working part of my subconscious mind and which part were my alters. And this confirmed when I integrated April of 2023. When the integration occurred, all my alters went away. It was silent in my mind. And I got to see who stayed. And when I saw who stayed behind, it broke down the realization that identity, fear system, subconscious mind are permanent. Intuition ego are permanent. The guilt system is permanent. They don't go away. Now, the guilt system technically is an offspring and a branch of the fear system. They're kind of like friends and buddies. And the guilt system only comes in when the fear system decides to call in backup. So the guilt system can come and go, but it's directly linked to the fear system. What I noticed when everything was running smoothly, I saw the subconscious mind, identity, intuition, ego. And the fear system and guilt system, they pop in and out. Oh yeah, the defense system. I knew there was 6. I'm like, I'm missing one. Where's the 6? The defense system. Now, the defense system, no, the defense system is very much there still. Yeah, it's defense system, identity, ego, intuition, subconscious mind, fear system. There you go. Those are your 6. So when I had everybody clear out, all the altars clear out, I noticed that those 6 things stayed. The fear system sleeps quietly. He sits in the back and he's calm now. And believe you me, on a daily basis, when there's a little something, he pops his head up and he looks around like, oh, is it? And we all go, hey, it's okay. It's all right. We got this. The defense system comes in. The identity steps in and, hey, everything's all right. We got this. It's okay. That's self-comforting. That is self-comfort. We're going to be talking about that much later. Not much later, but we're going to be talking about that a couple times during Triadic Healing. And then the subconscious mind is absolutely, completely void of any consciousness. It's actually more of a robot that goes through and just does processing. It's 100% just a machine. It's like C-3PO without any sentience. There you go. That's the subconscious mind. And identity. Identity is actually the one in charge of the ship. Ego is the one to make sure identity gets what she wants. If it helps, identity is wearing this beautiful pink petticoat gown, licking a lollipop, going, Daddy, I want this. And Daddy, that would be ego, is going, yes, sweetheart, whatever you want, I will get that for you. And that is exactly what my ego does. It pursues the dreams and wants and wills of identity. That is what we do. And I love doing it. I'm not going to lie. I really love taking care of identity. So you have identity. You have ego, who's very much this. The whole purpose here is to make sure identity gets what she wants. And then you've got intuition that's basically giving the cues. Okay, go now. Wait. Now, go. Wait, that way. Go this way. No, stop, go. That's what intuition does. So intuition does a lot of the navigation in the sense of sending you the cues, if you know how to look for them. Identity is the one who's pointing all over the place going, I want to go there, I want to go there, I want to do this, I want to dream big. That's all identity. And you, your ego, is in charge of making sure everyone runs smoothly, everyone assumes their roles, and everyone does what they are supposed to be doing. So you are micromanaging everybody. That's really what you're doing. That's what the ego is supposed to be doing. And if you don't manage everything, if you don't micromanage the whole situation, then the subconscious mind will step in and do it for you, which is where most people have problems, because the subconscious mind is not designed to run the show. It doesn't have any of the equipment. It doesn't have a conscious mind to make proper decisions. Its only concern is to keep the unit safe. So this concept that when you look at somebody and you see just the one individual, and then you think we are one individual, one entity, that is not correct. You have 6 people inside of you, not including your personality traits. There are 6 parts to you. So when you meet someone, you're only seeing one, but there are 5 more pieces inside of that person that you're not seeing. And as a result, when you're interacting with someone, you really don't know who and what you're interacting with. You could be interacting with their fear system. You could be interacting with their subconscious mind. You could be interacting with their intuition, their identity, or their defense system. You really don't know until you've been educated enough to know what to look for each one of these traits. Here's a clue. The subconscious mind, the fear system, are all identical. There's no uniqueness in any of them. Your subconscious mind is identical to mine. There's no uniqueness. There's no individuality. It's why psychologists say They are textbook. The subconscious mind is textbook. The subconscious mind is a one-size-fits-all, predictable, absolutely the same thing. The most extraordinary thing I learned about when I started talking and analyzing people is every subconscious mind I spoke to didn't just say the same thing, they said it verbatim. It's as if there is this magnificent script going around, and everyone has read the same script. And every time that subconscious mind turns on, you are all, me included, regurgitating the exact same thing. It's how a psychologist knows when they're being lied to. It's because you'll have 10 clients in a day, and each one of those clients will have a unique and bright, shining personality. That's identity. And then as soon as they trip and they flip over to fear, they flip over to their programming, those 10 individuals will suddenly quote and say the exact same thing every time. It's extraordinary. It's absolutely extraordinary to watch, to see suddenly 10 different individuals, 10 different people who've never met saying the exact same thing. Subliminal messaging is embedded into our culture, and everyone is picking up on it. And when the subconscious mind takes over, it is regurgitating the subliminal message. The subliminal messages are all attempts, successful ones, at conditioning their expectations into us. So that's what you're getting. Each and every time when you are stepping into a subconscious mind, there's nothing unique about a subconscious mind. And 99% of the time when you meet someone, you are talking to their subconscious mind. It takes work to get to the identity, if you can even get to their identity. In most cases, people keep their identities hidden, or people don't even know they have an identity. They can't get to it because they are that traumatized. So when you are interacting with someone, you have 6 different parts that you could be interacting with. Be mindful of that. Be mindful that you have 6 working parts. For this reason, I use most comfortably the pronouns we and them, because for me, I see very much all of us. I see identity. I have to take time out. This is conscious awareness, and actually converse with each and every part of me at times. You've seen me do it several times in my videos where I'll stop and go, excuse me, I got to convene with everybody here, because identity wants something, intuition wants something, the fear system wants something completely different. And this is the way people are. We are not one. We are all multiples. And that's the problem. Until you recognize that and until you change your thinking about that, you are invalidating all of the parts of you. Just because you are not acknowledging that there are 6 pieces to your mental system. So it's the number one gaslight that if you are going to step into triadic healing, you're going to have to shake this concept that we are one. We are not. An individual is not one. An individual is 6. Wrap your head around it, because we're going to be breaking up each one of these parts, how each one of them functions differently, how each one of them moves. In short, you have a team inside of you, a full team. And if you don't know all of your players, your basketball team, you have a basketball team inside of you. And it's the ego's responsibility, your conscious awareness's responsibility, to know who's on your team, what role everyone is playing, what everyone is supposed to be doing, what agenda everyone has, all of it. And what happens if each and every one of those parts isn't playing the way they're supposed to be. In every single case, mental illness results. So, triadic healing is designed to educate you on the 6 parts, train you how to recognize, talk to, and manage all 6 parts so that you can apply self-comfort, locate your resourcefulness, Self-govern. Know your limitations. Know your weaknesses. Know when it's time to ask for help. Accept what you can't do on your own, while also holding yourself accountable, holding yourself responsible, taking charge of your life, knowing from your resourcefulness and your self comfort what you can do and what you are really good at, and then applying that and executing it while being mindful of how your actions affect others. When you are done with that, you will have mastered the 6 first ethics of the stages of growth, and then you will be aligned, you will be balanced, and you will find an entirely different way of living that I like to call imperfect authenticity. It is a very different way to think. But to get there, rule number 1, you've got to abandon the concept that we are just one individual. It doesn't work like that. We have 6 parts. There are 6 pieces to us, and you are invalidating all the other parts. That leaves you in a position of absolute lack of control over your situation in your life. More importantly, a lack of power. So we're going to go ahead and start this, and I'm going to walk you through Triadic Healing and get you there step by step. Now, in addition to this, I have my self-care regimen. It's all laid out, and that's located over on my website. Just click on Get Started, and it's going to walk you through the process. At the end of Get Started, after you've onboarded and everything's all set, you have the option to join the integration workshop, which is located on, we're going to do that on Zoom. It is on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's when I do communication classes, boundary classes, I do workshops, I do power of self. And in that space, I also teach you about emotional management. So you get better at self-comfort, get better at taking the information that you're learning from these videos and integrating them. There is also a live Q&A where it's open question and answer on anything to do with your own personal life or Triadic Healing. And I also do troubleshooting. So I will cover whatever it is you want to cover, anything you've watched in the videos. If you watch a video and you have a question and you want to take it to Journey into the Self, that's the membership, the integration workshop, then let me know which video it is when you come into that space and you share it with me. And that way I'll be able to go back on the video and apply it and cover it with you. So if you are ready to get started, we can go ahead and just follow this playlist through beginning to end. Make sure you do your daily self-care regimen. That is detailed under Getting Started. I lay out what that entails. So this is the playlist itself, this one you're in. That's going to be where we basically discipline the mind, and it's where you raise your conscious awareness, nurture your identity. That is the other part of it, and it is vital, because if you are not nurturing your identity, you are not practicing self-comfort. If you are not practicing self-comfort, you're not going to fix the problem, because self-comfort is the primary ethic, the very first stage of growth that in most cases people don't learn. If you suffer from addiction, self-harm, or any kind of food or eating disorder, you lack the first ethic. You do not know how to self-comfort. And when you don't know how to self-comfort and you're an avoidant, that's when that path of addiction, self-harm, and binge eating food disorders occurs. So by internalizing self-comfort, you actually have a massive tool for diverting and ending your addiction, food problems, or self-mutilation, and it gets you back on track over here. It's absolutely phenomenal, but you need to internalize self-comfort to do so. And that is actually the very first thing we cover. So the videos I'm going to be talking about today is going to address how to self-comfort. I'm going to be building up the tools so that you have all of that information available. If you love shit like this, like, subscribe, follow, and comment below. Let me know what part of the video resonated with you. And then become a member. Join my integration workshop, Journey into the Self, and you'll be able to access a massive level of Triadic Healing. Thank you so much, and may the kindest of words always find you.